Right. So today we are going to discuss about how to create HR policy management proposals, etc. Because in regard to the HR activities, especially in the field of Agile, this is about Agile Jira, right? So because whenever we are working on Agile environment, especially uh, even different IT teams, marketing teams, sales teams, etc. Even HR teams can also work on the Agile environment. So whenever teams are working on Agile environment, especially HR teams, right? So people who are involving into HR, if anybody wants to acquire knowledge in the Agile way of approach, being into HR team, this is what something which one of the prominent tool called Jira is what something we use it. So in this Jira, we have an advantage where we can create projects. HR policy management is one of the project which I have taken. Wherein here in this HR policy management, we can create different boards and all. At the same time, if you want to manage and create any kind of list or something of that sort, we can create the list, etc. All that. So prior to that, we can mention the summary, right? So summary of the HR data, etc. All that, right? So policy related stuff, etc. All that can be improved here, mentioned here. Next one, approvals, because if you want to add any kind of approvals to the existing workflow, you want to create, so you can add some workflows, or at the same time, if you want to create any kind of forms, right? So for example, you want to create some forms relating to the information which stakeholders want you to update, or if you want to preview or share something of that sort, or else if you want to streamline any kind of request and making as a lift, etc., list, etc. All these things can be prepared under HR policy management in Agile environment using a tool called Jira. At the same time, when it comes to the list point of view, wherein these are all different type of list we have, where if you want to create any kind of list of the work what we want to perform, being into HR policy management, either you want to create any kind of policies, or if you want to update any kind of policy records, or if you want to send any notifications to your team members or to the customers, right? So this is where generally list of activities has to be mentioned here. At the same time, what kind of activity is this? What kind of type of activity is this? Is it a document we are preparing, or is it a task? We have to be updated in this regard. Means if you are creating any kind of task and all, we have to select the document as a task and we can create. If not, if you want to create a task, for example, there is a HR policy management where we want to create multiple tasks and all. So wherein we can create the task and we can write down that accordingly. This is where generally all these things will be included in it. At the same time, if you want to add any kind of comments, right? So for example, you want to mention about some comments relating to the project or the activities you are mentioning over here. So even activities can also be included in this regard. At the same time, if there is any kind of pages you want to create, some kind of project pages you want to create for HR policy as separate, you can connect to the policy Confluence, because Confluence is a document collaboration tool. Whatever the required documents and all we can create. Means if you want to create any kind of document for this as separate, we have to create a new Confluence space so that whatever the required pages and all everything can be created in Confluence and all, and that can be accessed with HR policy management. This is what something which normally we do whenever we talk about the pages, etc. All about. Next, if there is any kind of attachments, means if you want to add any kind of attachment types, for example, you want to add some spreadsheets, for example, what we call like policy information is there, right? So HR policy informations were there. List of policy records of the customers and all everything were updated, right? Where we want to have an access of it. We can select spreadsheets. Okay, spreadsheet you can select, and you can access that spreadsheet when and wherever it is needed, right? So you can add the assessment type. Or else, for example, you want to access some PDF files, or if you want to access some images or some documents you want to access, or if you want to add some videos or something audios of that sort, right? So every attachment can be added in this regard. This is what something which is comes under HR policy management whenever we are working on agile environment in the HR field. If you want to acquire knowledge using Jira, this is what and how generally this can be done. Next, at the same time, if you want to address any kind of issues and all everything, how these issues can be addressed and how this can be accessed. Okay, all this information we can create here. Next, report generation means if you want to create any kind of reports, etc. Right? So multiple reports you need to access, right? So if you want to implement their reports and all everything, there is a tool called Cucumber. Cucumber Studio is one of the tool which is majorly used for the traceability matrix. Normally we use it. So in these reports, normally any kind of reports we want to create. For example, if you want to create any kind of average age charts, or else if you want to create any kind of reports relating to created versus resolved, means whatever were created and whatever is resolved, right? So if you want to configure that sort, even that also can be done here. Next, at the same time, if you want to create any kind of resolution time reports, what are the resolutions we have made so far? You want to create any kind of resolution time reports and all everything comes under the reports point of view. This is what and how usually when we are working on HR policy management, being into HRT, whoever wants to works under the agile environment, okay, whoever wants to works under the agile environment, and whoever wants to works on the Jira tool and all, if you want to have some knowledge over the Jira tool in agile environment, being a HR professional, you want to have some acquiring some agile knowledge to work on your regular day-to-day activities, or if you want to learn any kind of a Jira agile kind of training for HR related activities and all, this is what and how usually practically we do. So this is what all about this video. If you have any questions, if you have any queries, followed by the training needs, etc. Please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.